Hello everybody, Ray Garner with Garner's Games, here to do my weekly comic review. And the Queen is finally here. That, the Queen in Black, #1. So we start off following it with I believe what happened in the Knoll series. Knoll is now the King in White. And he's kind of experimenting with his newfound set of powers. And starts making little light constructs. Then we cut away from him and somebody surveying him. And we have Tyr, the Norse god of war. And of course, Hela has become the Queen in Black. So she's got all of her powers plus Knoll's powers. And since I'm not going to try to butcher some names tonight, I'm just going to put them up here for you to see. Our little credits page. Who wrote, who did the art, and coloring, and the lettering. And of course, we get a little bit of backstory on this page about how the Celestials created a King in White and a King in Black to be the counterbalances of stuff. So from there, we cut to Avengers Mansion, where Mary Jane Venom is basically wanting to be a member, or at least to have people protected, by the Avengers. And we have a whole team with Captain Spider, also known as Toxic, Anti-Venom, which is, Flash, and Peter Parker, Spider-Man. And while Tony's basically saying, I trust Mary Jane, he doesn't trust Venom. And Dylan Brock, who's also Toxic now, which is an odd combination, is there, and we basically get the Avengers assemble. And we're communicating with the Fantastic Four. This is a pretty cool little splash page. I'll show it to you here. Captain Alliance is Skrull Super Soldier, which is, I don't know where that character comes from, but, kind of a weird combination. We get a little bit of flashback of the last time Knoll attacked Earth. Then we have a pretty cool scene where Wanda uses her Sorcerer Supreme deal to figure out who is behind it all, and of course, she finds out it's Hela. Problem is, nobody knows anything about what's going on with Norse mythology or anything, because apparently Norse gods never existed because of the things going on in Mortal Thor. But Beta Ray Bill knows it. So he explains it all to them, and they all rally around him. I'm going to cut back to Knoll, as he's refining his ability to make constructs. And we have Nova shows up. And after a little bit of arguing, hits him with a Nova Blast at 250% strength power. And the World Mind basically says, that was the max I could justify. And Richard Cusmall says, because I don't think it was enough. And I'll explain to him that, being the King in White, that he now controls all light. And we get of course, skipping here, Knoll almost blasts him into non-existence, and he teleports away. A really cool panel. I compliment the artist on this. This is a really nice. Queen on the throne, Tyr behind them. Saying that they're getting ready to do their invasion of Earth, because they're going to get Earth before Knoll destroys it. So then we're referencing all the different symbiote colors that have been introduced that, to be honest with you, I've missed a lot of apparently. And they're different approaches. But never fear, when you threaten a little old lady, you're going to have to deal with the spider friends. And after a good round of fighting, things are starting to go the way of the superheroes. We cut over to Egypt, where they're destroying or repurposing the Great Pyramid. And Wanda shows up and basically opens up their protection so that Vision can hit them at beyond terminal velocity. Then we cut back to Richard had teleported behind the moon, flew to Earth, got to the Baxter building, and now Reed is telling, or having him tell Iron Man what's going on. Iron Man tells him what's going on with the Queen in Black. And Queen in Black launches her second wave of attack. And just in time to help counteract that, Coello shows up. It's nice to have a Marvel crossover that doesn't exclude the X-Men, or an X-Men crossover that excludes the rest of the Marvel Universe. That's not changing what's going on in every single book this month, or canceling it for 3 months, or anything like that. Then we have the purple containers show up. Page doesn't want to cooperate here. And we have basically Skrull symbiotes. And human fly size symbiotes. And then we end with the ultimate mix of, how do you pronounce that? Kaltar and Kree in the symbiote intelligence. This is a fun little romp, but it is ridiculously hard to take it very seriously. I mean, we are the Green Lantern Corps of symbiotes with all the different color symbiotes that do different things. We are, hella unleashing tons of symbiotes onto the planet from different races. It comes across pretty much like almost like an alternate reality, like a what if story. With everything else, we have Null, who's the King in White, who's supposed to be the opposite of the King in Black, but now he's going to use it to basically bring the universe to nothingness, even though he's building it. He's building constructs with his light energy, very Green Lantern ring-ish. And the heroes right now are just running around trying to fight whatever's showing up. It's great that we remember the X-Men are part of this. It really immediately leads into like, hey, at this point here, you need to go read the story of the Defenders of Light and Dark. So that part is well handled. It is an interesting and entertaining book, but I don't see where you can have it have a long-term impact on the Marvel Universe, because right now nobody knows who Hela is, because there's been something that's made it to where Loki and Thor are on Earth, but nobody knows they're Loki and Thor. They're just dudes running around doing weird stuff. We're referencing what's going on currently as a direct reference to what's currently going on in Venom with Mary Jane. So it fits neatly within what's going on, so it is handled very well. I just personally have a hard time with Null as a character, and Hela being amped up with Null's power, which, by the way, she hasn't shown any of other than she controls the symbiotes. And instead of just being wild, crazy, let's throw all my power at it, it's like she's being very strategic, which I kind of like. Of course, she's got the Norse God of War Tyr with her. But again, the heroes are at a disadvantage because they don't know who the Norse gods are because of things going on in Thor's comic. So it's interesting and it's different. If you're a huge Null fan, I think you'll like it. If you're wanting Thor to go back to being what Thor's supposed to be, I think you'll like it. And a lot of cool stuff with Spider-Man. If you're a Venom fan, really heavy Venom stuff in here. So I would definitely, if you're a Venom fan, would pick this up. But anyway, I'm really interested to see how this crossover goes. And I guess watch out for the light and the dark. Don't know what else to say. I'll see y'all next week.